Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War Reloaded on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 1-2. It is entitled Trial by Fire. So now that we have the Lancer, we can, have a more competent weapon than the Hammer Burst. And we're going to be starting to do stealing of holes in this chapter. And I wanted to mention the D-pad right is the weapon that you always start by default with if you reset a checkpoint or if you die. So if you ever have a weapon that you want to immediately start with off of a checkpoint so that you don't have to do any switching, make sure that you always keep your most preferred weapon on D-pad right so that you don't have to do any fumbling when you initially start, because there are times in this game when after resetting a checkpoint or coming back from a death that you don't want to be doing any fumbling because time is crucial, and time is usually crucial when you're immediately going after sealing a hole. So right here you want to immediately equip your grenades. I'm gonna freehand throw one over here, and there is a stamina limit on Gears of War 1, so you do have to manage that as far as your roadie run. So come back over here, there's a hole right over there, and then take cover, because the enemies that are left are not any of the ones from the hole, because we killed all the ones that were coming out of the hole, plus we sealed the hole. So there's going to be a couple guys left over here. And then after you do this, you don't yet get a checkpoint, and there are two ways to go. What I would first recommend, though, since you probably used one or two grenades, is to come back to the beginning of the area and re-equip your grenades so that you have 4. And it is important that when you leave this stage you have 4, but don't worry, I'll show you the locations of holes. So there is this path over here where you can parallel the enemies, and if you want to go down the level where they're at, you can, but I found that this is a safer spot to be, because I've never got rushed up here, and typically grubs don't rush in the first place, but sometimes they can get a little bit too close for your liking. And grubs on Gears of War, at least in Gears of War 1, this version, even though it's called Reloaded, grubs are extremely tanky. So with everybody finished off over there, we're going to equip our grenade. But just realize, once again, that since the grenades are D-pad up, anytime you reload or come back from a death, you're never going to be holding the grenades. You're always going to be reverted back to whatever gun you have on D-pad right. So later in the guide I'll be mentioning how it's crucial to have the boom shot on the D-pad right, since coming off of checkpoints we're going to be hastily sealing holes, and we don't have much time for fumbling around, switching weapons, wasting time, and potentially missing out on opportunities to seal holes. So run up to this column right over here, and there's going to be a statue that comes down into this hole, so seal that hole. And then there's going to be 2 more guys over here, and this hole over here has to do with proximity, so you don't need to kill these guys hastily. Just take care of the job, as it were. So at this point you probably have 3 grenades. You're going to be using 1 more. If you leave this room with 2, don't worry about it, because there's 2 more as you leave this chapter. So equip the grenade, come up here, and then there's a hole right here that you can seal. So this is the ideal thing in this game is to seal holes, and seal the hole and kill all the enemies that come out, so that you don't have to fight them, because some of the holes, a lot of enemies will come out of the hole. So if you can plug them up quickly, you won't have to kill them, and essentially you won't have to do a fight, which is one of the highlights of this game. I really enjoy the fact that you can do that. Make a fight turn into a non-fight, and that's what we're going to be doing throughout the campaign whenever possible. So anyway, that has been Act 1-2. I will see you in the next sub-act. And until then, please take care.